This is the story of an orphan boy who had some magical powers through which he could find out when and how a person is going to die. Let's see how. Well, this story starts with a real scene where a plane has just crashed and the number of people who have died is in hundreds. But luckily a small child named Shinichiro is alive and is looking for his parents who may have been killed. In the meantime, he hears the voice of a girl who was asking for help from Shinichiro, but he is so young that he does not understand what to do. Then a big part of the plane falls on that girl and the scene shifts to a moment of a few years later, where we see Shinichiro, who has now grown up and works at a car garage. Shinichiro's owner is Tetsuya, who treats him just like his son. And Shinichiro also feels the image of his father in Tetsuya. Tetsuya is soon going to open another garage and he wants Shinichiro to become its manager, but Shinichiro rejects this offer because he feels that he is not right for this position. But Tetsuya still gives him a chance to think. While his daughter Misuko also makes Shinichiro understand because she also felt that only he is right for this post. Kaneda, who works in the garage, was upset with this because he has always been jealous of Shinichiro because Tetsuya used to give him priority in everything. He often used to vent out his anger by troubling Shinichiro. Even today he bullies him and pushes him away, due to which Shinichiro's mobile breaks, and after finishing the work, he goes to a shop to get it repaired, where a girl Aoi greets him. Shinichiro tells him that his phone is broken, but according to Aoi it was a very old model. Its parts were difficult to find, but still she somehow repairs Shinichiro's phone. So even at night Shinichiro looks at his phone and remembers Aoi. The next day he catches the metro to come to work, in which the hands of a man standing next to him suddenly start disappearing. Then we are told that Shinichiro had got a power at the site of the plane crash, with the help of which he can see the future of people, especially their death, and the disappearing hands of this man were also a proof that he was going to die. But Shinichiro cannot do anything, so he goes to his work, where Miss Yu tries to convince him to become the manager, but Shinichiro does not give any specific answer. At night, he passes in front of the same mobile shop and his eyes were still searching for Aoi. In the meantime, a stranger collides with him and Shinichiro follows him out of curiosity to know what will happen to him, and after going some distance, car crushes him. Shinichiro regrets that he could not do anything for her, so he becomes very upset, and the next day, he tells Miss Yu that if he gets such a power by which he can see the future of people, if Sati comes to know who is going to die when, then what will she do? On this, Miss Yu tells him that this is not a power but a curse. That is why she does not want any such power. Here, Shinichiro sees that once again his mobile is getting damaged, so he goes to Aoi again and gets the phone repaired. But he gets scared to see that Aoi's hands are also disappearing, so he decides to save her and calls her to meet after finishing the work. Aoi also thinks at first but then promises to meet in the coffee shop. There Shinichiro sees that Aoi's hands are getting better and he becomes very happy. Aoi asks why he has called her here. On this he says that he has the power to see the future. But he doubted that Aoi will not believe him. So he says sorry and leaves. But when he was going home outside, he feels a sharp pain in his chest. But somehow he controls himself and comes home. And the next day with full confidence he tells Taketsuya that he is ready to become a manager. Sati works in the garage till late night, where Aoi also comes to meet him. Shinichiro is surprised to see Aoi and Aoi tells him that she took Shinichiro's address from the store and she has come here to discuss something important. Shinichiro offers her coffee and Aoi holds a newspaper and tells him that there is a factory a few blocks away from her store which was attacked last night and many people were killed in that attack. Aoi could have been among those dead people because she goes home by the same route every day after finishing work, but Shinichiro saved her last night. She says that she remembers that future talk. Sati also thanks Shinichiro. But Shinichiro laughs it off, and the next day as soon as Misuko comes to the store, she understands that someone had come here last night. She asks Shinichiro about this and Shinichiro also tells her the truth with complete honesty. Misuko is happy because this was the first time Shinichiro was befriending someone, whereas before this he did not even let anyone come close to him. Here we are told a small story of the past, in which a girl named Mariko used to work at Tetsuya's garage. Mariko liked Shinichiro but Shinichiro never paid attention to her, so Mariko started having a relationship with a rich customer who used to come to the garage. She came into the nation and left from here forever. The story again comes to the present where Misuko and Shinichiro hear Tetsuya's voice who is shouting at Kaneda because he went on a date with a customer's car from the garage without telling Tetsuya. But instead of accepting his mistake, Kaneda gets angry at Tetsuya and Shinichiro and even hits Shinichiro, due to which Tetsuya punches him hard and fires him from the job. But as soon as Kaneda leaves, Shinichiro sees Tetsuya's hands which are suddenly disappearing. This means that Tetsuya's life is also in danger, but Shinichiro considered him like his father, so he decides to save him, and after finishing finishing the work, he asks him to have dinner with him. Tetsuya also agrees and both of them start walking towards the restaurant. But on the way, Shinichiro's attention was only on Tetsuya and the things around him. In the meantime, Kaneda runs towards Tetsuya from a dark place with an iron rod, but Shinichiro comes in between and saves him. Due to which Tetsuya's life is saved, but Shinichiro suffers a heart attack. And he wakes up directly in the hospital where Misuko tells that Tetsuya has forgiven Kaneda because he realized his mistake. After this, Dr. Takeo checks Shinichiro and says that maybe this happened due to stress. In the meantime, Shinichiro sees a little girl who was disappearing, so he tries to follow her. But Takeo stops him and asks if you also saw that girl disappearing. After this, both of them talk on the floor of the hospital where Takeo tells that he also has this ability and it is called Fortune Eye. But we are ordinary humans, not God, so we do not have the right to change or play with someone's fate. And if someone does this, then his life can be in danger. So let whatever is happening to someone happen, otherwise your life can be in danger. And this is the reason for your heart's pain. After this, Shinichiro goes all the way thinking about this, and the next day he calls Aoi to meet him and also proposes to her. But Aoi leaves from there without giving any answer. But then the next day she agrees, due to which both of them start meeting. And their love deepens. Meanwhile, Kaneda comes to Tetsuya again to ask for work and Shinichiro also recommends him. So Tetsuya hires him. Due to which Kaneda thanks both Tetsuya and Shinichiro. The next day Shinichiro buys a ring for himself and Aoi. He also goes to the hospital for a checkup. The doctor warns him that if he suffers a heart attack in the future, he could die. After this, Shinichiro goes to his garage where a boy comes to get his car repaired. This boy is none other than Mariko's boyfriend. So Shinichiro asks about Mariko, but this boy talks wrong things about her. He also abuses Shinichiro a lot. But Shinichiro remains calm, and the next day when he comes to take his car, Shinichiro sees that he is also disappearing in the air. This means that he is also going to die. But he decides not to do anything, and a few days later we see Shinichiro at the funeral of the same man. His little daughter was crying for her father. Shinichiro is very sad to see that girl. He keeps remembering the girl from the plane crash site whom he could not save. The next day, dejected, he goes to a park where some children from Kindia school were playing with their teacher. Then a girl comes to him and asks for the ball. But the body of this girl was also slowly disappearing. The rest of the children, even the teacher's body, suddenly started disappearing. So Shinichiro checks the hands of all the children. But the teacher feels that he is doing something wrong with the children. So she leaves from there with all the children. But a letter from the school falls from her hand, in which it was written that the children of the school are going to go on a trip by train. He understands that something is wrong. So the next day he goes to the station where many passengers were disappearing in the same way. Then Shinichiro understands that the train leaving at 7:30 in the morning the next day is going to have an accident. And he was excited about this because it was written in the school letter that the children were going on a trip the next day by this train. Then Shinichiro remembers that Aoi Abe travels by this train, which means her life was also in danger. So he goes to meet Aoi at her house at night and is happy to see her safe and sound. But to save her from the impending danger, he asks Aoi Ae to go on a trip with him for 3 days. Aoi Ae thinks at first but then says yes. And Shinichiro also becomes happy, but he had to save those children and the other passengers as well. So he calls the school to cancel the trip, but due to no valid reason, the school authority refuses to cancel the trip. In the evening, Shinichiro writes a letter in which he is telling everything to Aoi truthfully, which includes all the details of the trip. Along with that he also writes how much he loves Aoi. And all his planning goes waste the next morning when Aoi messages him saying that her co-worker is unwell and she has to go to the store. As soon as he reads the message, Shinichiro rushes towards the station, but the police were waiting for him outside his house. Actually, the school teacher had complained against him that he was misbehaving with the children. But to save Aoi, he escapes from the police, and on reaching the station, he sees that Aoi has already boarded the train. So he catches a taxi and reaches another station so that he can stop the train before it reaches there. Here, Shinichiro sees that construction work is going on, and on seeing this, Shinichiro understands that a crane being used in the construction will fall on the train coaches and all those people will die. But Shinichiro does not let this happen. Instead he stands in front of the train with a smoke candle. Aoi, who was in the coach right behind the engine, also sees Shinichiro and asks the driver to stop the train, and the driver also stops the train. Meanwhile, we also see the crane falling, which means that Shinichiro had stopped this train accident and saved the lives of all the passengers. Aoi immediately comes out of the train where Shinichiro was sitting on the tracks. As soon as Aoi sees him, she starts crying because he had lost his life to save Aoi and the other passengers. At Shinichiro's funeral, Aoi comes to know that she is the first girl with whom Shinichiro was so close. Hearing this, she becomes even more sad. And in the next scene we come to know that Aoi is the girl who had asked for help from Shinichiro at the crash site. But due to the trauma, Shinichiro did not remember that he had saved Aoi's life. It is also revealed here that Aoi has fortune eyes and she has always been searching for Shinichiro. So the first time Shinichiro came to the shop and reacted to Aoi's disappearing hands, she understood that Shinichiro was that boy. Sati boarded the train to save her life because when Shinichiro went to ask her for a trip, Aoi saw that her body was disappearing. So she decided to travel in the train to save Shinichiro, but Shinichiro also put his life at stake to save his love. After this we see Aoi reading the same letter which Shinichiro had written. While reading it, she cries a lot and feels Shinichiro by wearing the rings given by him. And with this the story ends here. So friends, how did you like this story? Do tell us by commenting. Like and share the video and subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon so that you do not miss the upcoming movie explanation. See you in the next video.